On this episode of In the Fight, the new Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, meets with Marines in Afghanistan. We meet the new Chief of Police for the city of Kandahar. Marines train Afghan security forces in Lashkar Gah. A National Guardsman presses on despite losing his home. And military doctors care for a special patient. Divots presents In the Fight. After Robert Gates' retirement from the Defense Department, the new Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, immediately traveled to Afghanistan to meet with Marines at Camp Dwyer. Marine Sergeant Andrew Milner brings us this story.
Defense Secretary Leon Panetta began his day meeting with local leadership. He then toured various areas of the base before meeting with a group of Marines and sailors to show his appreciation for their service and convey his passion for accomplishing the mission that many have died for.
So you have my commitment that we are going to stay on that track. We're going to continue to move forward. We're going to continue to try to accomplish the mission of transitioning to the Afghans so that they ultimately can take control of the defense, security, and government of their country.
During his visit, he presented two Marines with the Purple Heart.
I thought that was pretty awesome. I had never been given this kind of opportunity before. I just wish it had been under different circumstances.
My first thought was I was shocked that a Secretary of Defense was going to give myself a Purple Heart.
When asked what about the Secretary's visit stood out the most, they both thought the same thing.
I was happy with his comments that he's here for us.
Sounds like he's here for us, where he cares about what happens to us. He cares that we're all taken care of.
You're conducting the fight out there, and you're doing a hell of a job. You have my commitment that I will fight for you.
Marine Sergeant Andrew Milner, Camp Dwyer, Afghanistan.
U.S. and Afghan forces recently conducted Operation Hammer Down, the latest mission in the fight against the Taliban. During the mission, Army Sergeant Elwyn Lovelace got caught up in a firefight and filed this report.
Soldiers of Bravo Company, 2nd Battalion, 35th Infantry Regiment, 25th Infantry Division conduct Operation Hammer Down. The 1st Platoon soldiers and their Afghan National Army counterparts helped to clear a village in the Waterpur district. They also searched for a suspected Taliban training camp and Taliban fighters.
Army Sergeant Elwyn Lovelace. I am here in the Waterpur district of the Pest River Valley. We're attempting to make our way down to do an operation, a clearing operation with a suspected Taliban training camp is. But before we could even make it all the way down the mountain, we came under heavy fire. Rocket, small arms, whatnot. They do not want us getting that far down the mountain.
They're shooting at us, they're laying down underneath blankets, and they pop up and start shooting. It's on the north side of this hill to my north, to my 3 o'clock over.
The battle was fierce, but the brave and relentless coalition forces pressed every advantage available as the Taliban strike repeatedly.
We got disrupted, we set up a defensive position, and we've just been in the defense, waiting on other elements to get over here so we can continue clearing.
After a 3-day firefight, the Taliban's numbers were significantly reduced as coalition forces gained the upper hand.
They're getting taken out and they're running out of ammo and they're having trouble getting reinforcements due to a lot of the operational things that are going on around here to deny them of doing that. So, I mean, I think we've got the upper hand, definitely.
In the end, coalition forces prevail and get that much closer to stabilizing the area. Army Sergeant Elwin Lovelace, Kunar Province, Afghanistan.
This year, devastating weather has hit much of the country at an unprecedented level. From tornadoes to floods, this extreme weather has caused hundreds of fatalities and millions of dollars in damages. Mary Cochran brings us this story.
Extreme climate conditions caused historic flooding along the mighty Mississippi and Missouri rivers. And severe storm events have made this tornado season the deadliest in 50 years.
We have been dealing this spring with a highly unusual set of catastrophic weather events, and we have over 1,000 Corps employees deployed in the field in support of our fellow citizens.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is part of the National Response Team led by FEMA. In Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Missouri, where tornadoes caused extensive devastation, the Corps' critical missions include debris removal and temporary housing.
We're assisting our fellow citizens in removing debris. In Alabama alone, we've already removed over 4 million cubic yards of debris.
Although water levels are starting to subside, this record flood continues to test the Mississippi River and its tributaries. While along the Missouri River, flooding is now occurring in 7 states due to heavy rain and melting snowpack.
We have many technical teams deployed in the field in support of these disasters in order to evaluate our dams, our levees, and other infrastructure. Public safety is our #1 priority.
Mary Cochran, Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Hi, my name is Lieutenant Colonel Matt Tedesco. I'm here at Cobb Speicher, Iraq. I'd like to give my best to my family, my wife Carrie, my son Joseph, my daughter Natalie, and my youngest son Christopher. They live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Hope to see you soon. I love you.
Hi, this is Lieutenant Rob Jacobone, 43rd MP Brigade, Rhode Island Army National Guard in Afghanistan. Just want to say hello to all my family and friends in Johnston and throughout Rhode Island. Have a good summer.
Hi, I'm Megan Wessels at Cobb Speicher, Iraq, and I just wanted to give a shout out to my friends and my Penny Hill Farm family in China, Michigan. I also wanted to say thank you for taking care of Jazz and CJ for me while I've been gone. I really missed you guys. I love you all and can't wait to see you. Bye.
Coming up, we meet the newly appointed Chief of Police in Kandahar. And a medevac team takes us on a life-saving mission. Check out DividsHub.net for the latest accurate and reliable information as In the Fight continues. What was the first U.S. war in which African Americans enlisted? The answer when we return.
I want to give a shout out to my family and friends.
I want to send a shout out to my husband,
to my parents, my family back home.
I'd like to give a shout out to my girlfriend.
To my family and friends in Lansing, Michigan.
To my family out in Tucson, Arizona.
To my beautiful wife and children in Des Moines, Iowa.
To everybody in Texas.
In York, Pennsylvania.
Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Chicago, Illinois.
Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Orlando, Florida. Oceanside, California.
And Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I love you guys. I miss you. And I hope I'll see you soon.
With the new Military 24/7 app from Divots, you turn your favorite mobile device into a window to the front lines. Connect with your nation's finest men and women through our video and photography archives and stay up to date with news reported directly from service members. Quickly share information and breaking stories with friends via Facebook, Twitter, or email. News, photos, video. Your military 24/7.
What was the first U.S. war in which African Americans enlisted? The answer is A, the Revolutionary War. For many Afghans, fighting alongside U.S. and coalition forces against the Taliban can mean a death sentence. NATO Channel correspondent Alessandro Pavone brings us this profile of a newly appointed chief of police who is risking his life to improve the lives of his fellow Afghans.
My name is Abdul Razik, and I was born in the Dan district of Kandahar province. I grew up in Baltag in the Daman district, and my position is Brigadier General.
He's taken on one of the most dangerous jobs in Afghanistan. General Abdul Razik is the new chief of police for Kandahar. His predecessor Khan Mohammad Mujahid was killed in a suicide attack in April, but the risk to his life doesn't worry him. Like many Afghans, Abdul Razik was exposed to the realities of war from a young age.
I was very young. My uncles were in the jihad. My father was killed in a jihad when the Russians were here. I do not remember it very well. It was a tough time. I pray those days will never come back again in Afghanistan. From then, trouble began, and that period is still going on in Afghanistan.
Abdul Razik isn't sure how old he is, but thinks he's around 35. He comes from a tribe which controlled many of the smuggling routes in the south. His family were fairly prominent, but their fortune declined when the Taliban came to power in the mid-90s. The Taliban hanged his uncle from the gun of a tank. He and his family fled to Pakistan and didn't return until the fall of the Taliban in 2001. He was later made a colonel in the border police and put in charge of operations in Spin Boldak, a major port of entry between Afghanistan and Pakistan. There have been a number of reports linking Razik to drug smuggling, while human rights activists accuse him of brutality against the rival tribes and the Taliban. Razik makes no apology for taking a hard line against insurgents.
There are those who are destroying our country. Whoever they are, we will not surrender to them. We have no choice but to defend ourselves and our country. They are not Taliban, they are terrorists. It is a war imposed from the outside. The enemy's main base is not in here, it's in Pakistan.
At a press conference in Kandahar, Abdul Razik is seen as something of a celebrity. Young police officers and tribal elders fight to have their picture with him. They describe him as a hero, not afraid to die for his country. For NATO's part, he has been an ally, fighting the insurgency and helping to provide safe passage for supplies coming in from Pakistan. Since last summer, numerous operations have taken place in districts surrounding Kandahar city. Having been uprooted from many areas, the Taliban has resorted to carrying out attacks within the city itself. The pressure is on the new chief of police to repel the insurgency. General Razik is up for the fight.
We are Muslims, and we believe that when we have faith, when our hour comes, we will die, we will not survive. The enemies are trying, but we are also trying to defend our country from any situation. Whether we die now, or die after an hour, or after a month, we shall defend our country. We will pay for the country with our lives. I think the future of Afghanistan will be good.
Alessandro Pavone in Kandahar, Afghanistan, for the NATO Channel.
When service members are wounded during combat, medevac teams rise to the challenge of saving their lives. Marine Corporal Kevin Beebe goes along for an intense ride and files this report.
When you're having the worst day of your life, 10th Mountain Division Dustoff is there.
When an urgent mission drops, we know that somebody's life is in danger, or it's life, limb, or eyesight that we're trying to save. So the quicker we get out of here and on scene, the quicker we can get the medical attention to and get them back here.
From the time the call comes in, the medevac crew has 15 minutes to be in the air, and they never know what kind of challenges they'll face.
I would say the most difficult part is just the spontaneous aspect of it all. You never know when you're going to go or where you're going to go. It could be day, night, goggles. The weather could be bad, and it could be a hoist. You never know. Never know what you're flying into until you get there.
But getting there is only half the battle. Once the casualty is on the aircraft, the medical team works on the patient, while the pilots try to get back to base as quickly as possible.
The whole point of medevac is rapid movement of the patient from the point of injury to a higher level of care. My job is to maintain the patient while we've got him, while we get him to that higher level of care. and if I can do it, try to improve his situation some.
Saving lives on a daily basis may not be the easiest job to do during a deployment, but it's one that this medevac crew finds very rewarding.
This job comes with a lot of satisfaction. You know that your job is directly supporting the soldiers on the ground, and you're getting them out of pretty much helping them on the worst day of their lives, make sure they get to make it back home to their families.
Whether you're U.S., Coalition, or Afghan, 10th Mountain Dustoff has your wounded. Reporting from Forward Operating Base Fenty, Afghanistan, I'm Marine Corporal Kevin Beebe.
As more and more Afghans join the Afghan police force, they require proper training in order to one day become self-sustaining. Marine Lance Corporal Daniel Wools shows us how one Marine team is helping them to meet that goal.
As part of their daily routine, Marines from the Provincial Police Advisor Team, 2nd Marine Division, patrol to Helmand Province's police headquarters from Mobile Operating Base Lashkar-Gah, Helmand Province, Afghanistan. The Marines are part of an ongoing mission to mentor Afghan security forces and help them establish themselves as the law enforcement of Afghanistan.
Once we have this province stabilized, the only people that will be remaining are the police. So it's very important to develop them to the point that they can maintain the peace that they and all the rest of us establish.
The advisor team's focus is on training the AUP leaders and officers who work within the police headquarters. Marines train Afghans in logistics, operations, communications, and administration.
They don't ask as many questions as they did when we first got here, so they're more familiar with what they have to do, and they have their own routine going down, and their quick response to certain actions are getting faster and faster on a daily basis.
Marines in units like PPAT play a role in leading the country to success by training Afghan security forces as kinetic infantry operations draw down and U.S. forces prepare for the slated 2014 withdrawal. Reporting from Regional Command Southwest, I'm Lance Corporal Daniel Wools.
Hi, I'm Captain Steve Wallace, Cobb Spiker, Iraq. I want to give a shout out to my dad and my stepmom, Cheryl, in Casper, Wyoming, and love you guys. See you soon.
Hey, this is Sergeant Major Rayon Hughes. I'm here in Baghdad, Iraq, 25th ID. I'd like to give a shout out to my friends and family in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to say hi, I love you.
Hi, my name's Staff Sergeant Waylon Owens, deployed in Southwest Asia from Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska. Just want to give a big shout out to all my family and friends out in Big Red Country. Go Big Red.
I'm First Sergeant Harrington, stationed here at Cobb Spiker, Iraq. I'd like to give a shout out to my friends and family back in New Orleans, Louisiana. Who?
Coming up, military doctors care for a special patient. And we'll showcase some of the best photos from our service members as In the Fight, presented by Divots, continues. In which state is the U.S. Air Force Academy located? The answer when we return.
With the new Military 24/7 app from Divots, you turn your favorite mobile device into a window to the front lines. Connect with your nation's finest men and women through our video and photography archives and stay up to date with news reported directly from service members. Quickly share information and breaking stories with friends via Facebook, Twitter, or email. News, photos, video. Your military 24/7.
In which state is the U.S. Air Force Academy located? The answer is C, Colorado. Floodwaters overtook his house and displaced his family while he battled the Souris River with his fellow National Guardsmen. Army Sergeant First Class Michael Hauk shows us how this Guardsman is pressing on.
I've been on the flood duty since it started. Initially, there was a lot of hope that we would beat the flood. I, like a lot of other people in the community, I have the same questions. What am I going to do for housing? What am I going to do to get my family back together? Just to make sure that my life goes on. Even to this day, I'm living in a borrowed space. My family is living in a trailer that somebody was kind enough to allow them to use, and I'm living out of the armory. There are soldiers, obviously, in the fight from all the units here that are in the same situation that I'm in. The Guard, as I said, has been very generous about letting soldiers that need to come off duty come off duty. Even though that I'm in a situation where my family is also involved in this flood. There are 11,000 people in this town that need help, and those 11,000 people rely on us being on duty and doing what we do. And that's kind of my motivation, to continue to do what I do. Some of it may even be a little selfish, it gives me something to do.
I can't get right up to my home yet, but I think I know.
This is a hometown to 2 units, so there are units that have real personal attachment to this fight that is going on. This isn't something that's happening halfway around the world. This is our backyard. This is what we train to do. We make ourselves available to assist in times of emergency. It is one of our motivating factors that we are so personally tied into this mission to ensure that we're out there doing the best that we can do for this community and to make sure that Minot rebounds. I have people constantly coming up to me asking, hey, First Sergeant, how's it going? How's your house doing? How's your family doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Those people are always available to, kind of check me. So when I'm having a bad day, somebody can, let me know, hey, First Sergeant, maybe you need to step back and take a breath. And it's good to have those kind of people around you also.
Military dogs are playing an essential role on the front lines. Army Sergeant Lauren Massey files this report about a soldier's best friend.
Army Military Working Dogs, or MWDs, are strong, agile, and highly trained. Blackjack leaders of the 2nd Advise and Assist Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division, have an invaluable resource able to detect explosives and assist with the apprehension of suspects.
Aggression, which is considered patrol work. On the deployment side, if somebody keeps running away from someone or keeps running away from one of the units, every time he thinks he's going to get caught or something like that, the dog has capability of either chasing him down or finding his scent.
Explosive detection training is ongoing.
Well, for detection, it's a tool that we use to save lives and protect convoys, things like that. We can search roads, open areas, buildings, vehicles, different places. We do training for that every single day.
Aggressive and ready, the Military Working Dogs help keep Blackjack troops safe. Reporting for America's First Team from Cobb Warhorse, Iraq, this is Sergeant Lauren Massey.
Military doctors have to be able to react at a moment's notice to whatever comes through their hospital doors. Sometimes the patient isn't a service member, as Army Specialist Eric Provost shows us in this report.
So he's telling me he's got hepatitis B. It's positive.
Army surgeons supporting a recent mission in the Azra district of Afghanistan found themselves treating an unexpected patient when a young boy showed up in the arms of a local physician.
The child had fallen from a height of approximately 4 meters and had injured his left eye and left ear. There was blood coming out of his ear, and he had a pretty swollen left eye.
We performed our immediate protocols, checking out his airway, breathing, circulation, neurostatus, everything seemed normal. We had the father hold the child in the upright position, which we would take the pressure off the head and help release some of the pressure on the eye. With the swollen left eye and the blood coming from the ear, the ecchymosis, the bruising around the eye, we were concerned that it might be a skull fracture.
Forces on the ground were able to evacuate the child to Forward Operating Base Schenck to receive more specialized care.
I just feel blessed that we were able to do something for the child and get him to a place where he could get better care and, right place, right time.
For Task Force Patriot, I'm Specialist Eric Provost.
DVIDS is a 24/7 operation that provides a timely, accurate, and reliable connection between the media and the military serving worldwide. Through a network of over 200 portable satellite transmitters around the globe and a distribution hub in Atlanta, Georgia, DVIDS gives you access to the front lines with live and archived broadcast video, still imagery, and print products. Visit our website at DVIDSHub.net and search through our enormous video and photo library. Register on our website to gain complete access to high-definition content, along with breaking news alerts and webcasts from top military officials. For questions or comments about In the Fight or DVIDS, you can email us at ondemand@DVIDSHub.net or follow us on Twitter and Facebook. As we close, we feature some of the best photos that DVIDS has to offer as we listen to Eddie Horst's composition, Pangea. See you next time, In the Fight.